Guys, so today is day 3 of Halloween nails, and for today's video, I am going to do like a bloody bride set. To start off, I am just going in with White Wedding from Ball Pit. It's this really pretty, like sheer, milky, off-white color. And I thought it would be perfect for this set. Also with the name, like it just was fitting. But anyhow, I applied this to all of the nails and I ended up doing 2 coats of this and I cured each coat for 60 seconds. After getting all of the nails painted, I just pulled out a bunch of stuff that I thought I wanted to decorate the nails with. So I pulled out some like lace stickers, all the like wedding looking type of nail decorations that I had. So like the pearls and some rhinestones and chunkier like rhinestones. Um, I think there was also like some bow charms that I pulled out. I ended up not using the bow charms, but I wasn't really sure what I was going to use or what I was going to do decoration wise on these nails. I just know knew that I wanted to make them look as wedding-esque as possible, and I felt like sticking with the whites and like the silvers for everything was going to be the best for this. So here I am. This is the middle nail, and I knew for the middle nail that I wanted it to be like the statement nail. I typically usually always make the middle nail the statement nail, like if I'm going to have a statement nail or like a focal point for the entire set. So because I wanted this to be the focal point for the set, I decided to use this big giant silver rhinestone here. It came in one of those little containers that has like a whole bunch of other charms and stuff in it. I got it in one of the mystery boxes that I got one time, like the Varnell one or the Vetsy one. I can't remember. Um, and then some other various charms, like some pearls. Some of the pearls are like the full round bead pearls, and some of the pearls are the flat back pearls. I had a couple of these white flowers that I had in my nail art drawer. Um, and these smaller rhinestones that I'm using, they are the pointed back rhinestones. And I really like using pointed back rhinestones for like clusters like this. They're really good for space fillers and you can like put them on their sides. And like, as you can see with that big oval rhinestone that I have, it does have a lot of gaps that I had to fill in, and using those pointed back rhinestones to like shove in there to fill those gaps really helps. I also use some of the pearls to fill that in. And then I do add some like silver caviar beads here in a little bit. Um, well, like I was saying, because I knew I wanted this to be the focal point, I just pulled out a bunch of different charms and stuff and decided I was going to make like a rhinestone slash charm like cluster on the nail. I thought that would be really pretty and give like a bridal look to this set. So I just took my rhinestone glue. I think it was the McCart rhinestone glue, and applied some of that up there at the top of the nail. I kind of went like in a diagonal type of pattern, to make it kind of be like asymmetrical. And usually when I do like rhinestones and charms and stuff, I'll apply the rhinestone glue and then put the top coat right on top of it, because I hate going around like rhinestones and charms and stuff afterwards. I rather just get the top coat on beforehand. Also, the top coat helps to like smooth out the rhinestone glue if it ends up being like lumpy and bumpy. Also, I feel like um it helps when, if you ever see someone like apply rhinestone glue and then stick their charms and stuff in, you can kind of see the rhinestone glue like ooze out from underneath of the charms and stuff. And it kind of just leaves like this ridge on the nail because it's like lumped up right there. And then even after applying a top coat, after doing that, you can still see it. Or even sometimes they'll apply their top coat first and then go in and do all the rhinestones and charms and stuff. So you just have this like lump of rhinestone glue sitting there on the nail. And I don't like how that looks. And I feel like when you do the rhinestone glue and put the top coat right on top of it and then put all your charms and rhinestones and stuff on, it helps to prevent that. So you're not seeing like that lump of rhinestone glue on the nail that has oozed out from underneath the rhinestones and charms and stuff. But anyhow, I didn't, like I said, I didn't do that for this set because I wanted to just, I was basically doing like a junk nail type of situation here, but just on like part of the nail. And whenever I do junk nails or like a full bling nail, because the entire nail is being covered, you can't really top coat it anyways. So I'll just put the rhinestone glue down and then just fill in all the spaces with the charms and stuff. So that's what I did with this. And since I knew the entire section was going to get covered up, I didn't bother with the top coat. I did a top coat afterwards, which, like I said, I don't prefer to do it that way, but it just made sense for what I was doing here. So yeah, I just pulled out a bunch of random different pearls and rhinestones and stuff and just kind of placed them on where I felt like they would fit, and like filled in any gaps that needed to be filled in, so that way if I were to have worn these nails, like they wouldn't get caught on like my hair or my clothes or anything. Although I'm not wearing these nails for an extended period of time, they're just gonna be on for like the ending shots and like pictures and videos and whatever. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that like whenever you're doing rhinestones and charms and stuff, you want to fill in the gaps that are around them so they don't get caught on your hair or your clothes or even drawers or like your cabinet doors or whatever. I've had that happen before and it does not feel nice, especially when you use a really good rhinestone glue that like cements the rhinestones on and they're stuck on there, and then you get them caught on something and it yanks. Oh my god, that is the worst thing ever. Um, But anyhow, yeah, just filling in this space, adding on stuff until all the rhinestone glue was covered. And I just went in with these caviar beads and just kind of shoved them in random places to fill in space and, I don't know, just add a little extra razzle dazzle to the nail. But after I got all that on, I did go ahead and cure for a full 60 seconds. And then for the rest of the nails, I decided I was going to do some French tips on them. So like a white on white French tip. And this is when you can really tell that that base color I used is an off-white milky white instead of like a pure white milky white because I have the white liner gel here that is a pure white liner gel, so you can definitely tell that there is like it's two different types of whites and not like pure white on pure white, if that makes any sense. So I just go in and do my French tips on the nails. I am using a 15 millimeter liner brush to do the French tips. I mentioned this in yesterday's video where I was doing French tips, that the longer liner brushes make it a lot easier to do your French tips. So like using a 12 millimeter or longer brush makes it a whole lot easier to do your French tips. Um, and I did shorter nails for that one, the bloody French tip nails that I did yesterday. Um, I did those on shorter nails, so I went in with, actually, I think with those ones I did an 11 millimeter liner brush. Um, but anyhow, I went with a shorter brush just because that was a shorter nail. And then for these ones, because they are a longer nail, I did go in with the 15 millimeter. But yeah, whenever doing French tips, I definitely recommend using a longer liner brush. It just makes it a whole lot easier. But anyhow, did all these French tips, and then once I got them all done, I did cure for a full 60 seconds. And I mentioned this in that last video that with this liner gel, um, and I also said I assume it's like this with most liner gels, but I can't really say for sure because um, this is the only liner gel that I use because it's really the only liner gel that I have. But for the ball pit, the black and the white, I don't know about her other liner gels because she did just recently over the summer come out with like a collection of like different color liner gels, like rainbow color liner gels. So I don't know how those are, but I know for the black and the white, um, if you're doing something like this where you're filling in a space on the nail, so like a French tip, or if you're doing like character art or something, and you're using the liner gel to fill in whatever space, um, it does, when you first apply it, you can see like all the little brush strokes at first. And you can kind of see it on camera. It is a little bit difficult because my camera does have a hard time whenever it comes to like picking up super light colors, especially white. and like pastel colors. So it is a little hard to see, but you can kind of see the brush strokes and that, what you can kind of see the brush strokes on the nail as I'm filling in the French tip part here on camera, but like I said, it is kind of hard to see. But if you let the nail sit for a few seconds, it does level out, so it's not streaky like that anymore. It does take a little bit longer to level out compared to like a regular gel polish, just because it is on the thicker side, because it is a liner gel, but it does level out and smooths out nicely. And if it doesn't fully smooth out, because sometimes, you add a little more in an area than what you intended, and it like still leaves a little bit of a, not a ledge, but like it doesn't fully level out, kind of have this little lump there. As long as it's not like super high and super noticeable, the your top coat should cover it right up, so it'll smooth it all out in the end. As long as you do like thin layers and like you try your best to smooth everything out. If it doesn't like fully level out, or you stick it in the lamp before it gets the chance to level out, your top coat will smooth it out. But I do recommend to let it sit for a little bit, let it level out, and then cure it. You see here that I did the pinky nail and then set it to the side and then moved on to the next nail. And I don't cure any of the nails until after I get all of the French tips done. That way it does give the other nails the opportunity to sit and kind of level out. And then even once I finish the last nail, I do still let it sit for a little bit, just so that one also has the opportunity to level out. And then I do go ahead and cure for a full 60 seconds. And the ball pit black and white liner gels are no wipe, so you don't have to put a top coat on. Like, that could be your final step for the entire set, and you're good to go. That also makes them really good for chrome. But anyhow, after I got all the French tips on, I decided I wanted to add some of these lace stickers to add a little extra bridal look to the nails. And as you can see, I am struggling so hard to get these stickers off. They did not want to come off the sheet at all. They were so difficult. Um, I want to say I got them either from Shein, Temu, or AliExpress. Those are kind of the three places that I usually go to for like nail decorations, so like stickers and charms and stuff. Although I do prefer stickers from this one shop called Shop Kiki. They are located in the UK, so I don't know how all that's going works with the tariffs and everything now. Same with like Shein and Temu and AliExpress. I have no idea what's going on there. And like I keep hearing different things from different people. Like some people say they are getting charged with tariffs for these for their purchases on these sites, and some are saying that it's already included into like the shipping or like the price of the product. So I don't know. I haven't even tried to order anything off of any of those since I haven't ordered anything since January, because I'm like, I have no idea what's going on with these tariffs, and it keeps going back and forth, and it's always changing, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to deal with the tariffs, and like they charge you after it's like shipped to the US, and then like, customs or whatever charges you for it, and then you have to pay for it before they give it to you. And then like if you don't pay it, I think like obviously you're not going to get your package, but then also they like charge you extra for like I don't know. I don't know. So I haven't been purchasing anything that comes from like ships from another country because I'm like I don't want to deal with it. It's too confusing, too much, and I hate it here. Anyhow, so I'm just putting these stickers on, struggling to get them off, but I finally got them, and I just kind of did them to kind of make them look like a lace pattern on a wedding dress, kind of. Just to add a little bit, I really didn't know what I was doing with this set. I mean, majority of the time I don't know what I'm doing with a set. And I make it up on the spot. But I really didn't know for this set because I've never done like wedding themed nails. So I really didn't know how to really make them look like a bridal nail set. And like, that's not my style of nails. I mean, that's just not my style in general. It's like this fancy, frilly type of stuff. So this was a little bit of a challenge for me to make it look bridal like. So that's why I mainly just stuck to like whites and silvers because I'm like, that definitely screams bride, all the white. So I was like, if I just put a bunch of white stuff on the nail, then it should look bridal like. So anyhow, I forgot to mention, before applying the stickers, I did wipe off the sticky layer off the nails in order for the stickers to actually stick onto the nail, because if you leave that sticky layer on there, they just slip and slide and they just don't stick to the nail at all. They will eventually like try to peel off and lift away from the nail even after like top coating and everything. So always make sure you're wiping off that sticky layer before applying stickers. And then after I got those on, I felt like they were a little too plain compared to the middle nail. And I was trying to figure out how could I jazz them up a little bit and make like this entire set cohesive. I mean, it was cohesive, but like, I don't know. The French tip nails with the stickers, they just weren't giving enough bridal aesthetic for me, if that doesn't make any sense. But anyhow, they weren't doing it for me. And I really loved how that middle nail came out, so I was trying to, make these fit in with that one. So I decided to take the smallest little flat back pearls that I had and just outline the French tip of the nails. I worked so hard on those French tips. I actually spent like a lot of time on these French tips because I wasn't um, planning on outlining them like this with the pearls. So I like spent a little bit of extra time making sure that the French tips looked really good just to go and cover them up. Usually I don't spend that much time on my French tips. I just kind of draw them on and go with it. So I just applied the rhinestone glue along the smile line, and then I did the top coat on top of it to smooth it out. This McCart rhinestone glue is super thick and it doesn't level out at all, so it's pretty streaky and lumpy whenever you do apply it. So I definitely recommend putting top coat on top to smooth it all out. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a lumpy mess. So yeah, just applied the little flat back pearls all around the edge. And then once I got them on, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. And I really liked how they came out with the pearl border here. I thought it was really pretty and really gave that bridal look. It almost looks like um, any like type of beading on a dress, or even like if the bride were to wear a pearl necklace or something. I just thought it was super pretty. And I actually really liked how this set came out on its own right here. So I definitely had to take some like finishing shots of this set on its own, because look at this. It's so pretty. I did top coat the nails after getting those, like, well, I did top coat because I put the top coat on, but then I top coated the middle nail as well. So these are all top coated. This could be a set on its own for anyone who's getting married, or if this is just your, you know, style of nails. It's such a pretty set. And then for the scary part, I was honestly really scared for this part, because I'm like, I really like how this set looks and I'm afraid to like mess it up. But I just had to go for it because I had a vision for this and I'm like, I have to do it. I have to follow through. And I just had to believe that it was going to end up looking good in the end. So I'm just taking the Nails by Dev Blood Effects gel. I used this in the last video, which I was saying how it's kind of hard to use when you're trying to do specific stuff, but when you're doing something like this, it works a whole lot better. So you can see I'm just grabbing some up out of the jar and just kind of dabbing it on the nail. I kind of glob it on in some spots to put a lot of emphasis on that spot being super bloody, and then just kind of smush it around, make it look really messy, and then I'll go over like the rest of the nail when there's not very much on my brush left, to kind of give like a splatter type of look, or like if you were to have blood on you and like it gets smeared or whatever. I just really wanted it to look really messy and bloody, like there was a massacre or something. Um, so I just kind of had fun with it, made a mess with it. And like I said, this was really scary to do all this on top of it. Everything was top coated, so I wasn't afraid, like, if I didn't, like, I could just wipe it off easily if I didn't like it. But also with, like, the pearls and the rhinestones and stuff, like, that would have been really hard to get it off of all of that and, like, get in between there. There still probably would be some, like, remnants of the red left over if I wiped it off. But, yeah, it was just really scary to be applying this. I was like, oh my god, this set is so pretty. Like, I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. Like, when I finished applying all of the rhinestones and pearls and stuff. Um, but it was so pretty, especially that middle nail. Oh my gosh, the middle nail is my absolute favorite. Like, I need to buy more of those big chunky rhinestones and do more clusters like that, because that looks so good. And I usually am like, I am so bad at like rhinestone placement and stuff like that, but that came out so good and it looked so good and I absolutely loved it. Um, but yeah, just having fun with it, smushing it on, smearing it on. I kind of just like started in one spot and smeared the stuff on, and then just like kept going all around the nail until there was like nothing left on my brush, and then like, added some more wherever I felt like I needed to add more, moved on to the next nail, and just kept doing that until I got all of the nails done. And then once I got the blood gel on all of the nails, I went ahead and cured for a full 60 seconds. And I was going like straight down the line and just doing all the nails, but I decided I wanted to do the middle nail last because that one was scaring me the most to put this blood gel on because I'm like, oh, I don't want to ruin it. I didn't ruin it in the end. I mean, some people might think I'm ruining the set, and I mean, I kind of am, but also this is like the whole point of this set is to make it look all bloody and gory and like a bloody bride or like a dead bride or something. So, like, if you're getting married on Halloween or in October, or if you're just having like a gothic or a Halloween themed type of wedding or like a dark themed wedding, this is the set for you. Like, not only could you wear it for Halloween, to for like a dead bride costume or whatever, this could also be for any of those like super edgy brides. Like, honestly, this would be the set that I would wear if I were to ever get married, because that's just my style, my vibes. Um, Anyhow, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play out because I am just rambling at this point, and I will be back whenever I need to be back. Okay, so now I'm just wiping all the nails off with some alcohol. Like I said earlier, all of the nails are already top coated. Um, and this blood effects gel, it does have a sticky layer, but you can just wipe it off and be good to go. It doesn't need a top coat. It still keeps that shiny, like blood look to it. So that's all I did. Um, if you want to, you could top coat to seal it all in. I honestly can't say how long it stays shiny and like how long it lasts without being top coated because I am not wearing it, so I don't know the longevity of it if it's untop coated, but just using it here and like wiping it off with some alcohol, it does keep the shiny look to it, as you can see here, so that's not a problem because I know sometimes if you wipe polish off, it kind of gets matte. So if you want to keep it shiny, like that's no problem. And then on that middle nail, I did go in with a cleanup brush to really get in between everything to make sure everything was getting wiped off. But this is the finished result, and oh my gosh, I am in love with this set. I, like I said earlier, I didn't think I was going to like this set as much as I did just because it wasn't really my style. Um, it's definitely on the like girlier, frillier side, and that's not really me. If you've been watching my videos for a while, then you know, like, that's not my thing. I don't really do all that. But I was absolutely in love with this set before applying the blood onto the nails, and then especially after applying the blood onto the nails. They came out so good, and like they definitely exceeded my expectations when I started doing this. Um, I was like, they're gonna look good no matter what, I feel like, but like I was not expecting them to look this good. And then just one more time for the bridal set on its own, and then switching over to the blood set. I honestly, like, I don't know what else I can say about this set other than I just absolutely love it, and I love how it came out. And it looks even better in person. Like, this blood gel looks really bright on camera, I feel like, whereas in person it kind of looks a little more, like, it's a little darker and looks more realistic. Um, so I just feel like it looks a lot better in person. Uh, But yeah, I really love this set, and that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.